Hello and welcome back. Here we are, and we are going to continue to work on our desert landscape. So let's go ahead and get over to our program. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab. In that new tab, I'm going to go to vectr.com. Remember, vectr.com. And then after I am there, it should remember me. If it doesn't, I'm going to hit log in. So my name is up here, so it does remember me. If it doesn't, again, hit login. You'll click on Google. It'll redirect you to your Google sign-in and bring you into kind of your dashboard area of the program. So you can see some of the other, this is the one that I've been working on. So I'm going to go ahead and click open. And it's going to bring me into the project. So today what we're going to do is we're going to work on adding a sun and some clouds and a bird perhaps here. So the first thing we're going to do is a sun. So we're going over here to the left side to our toolbar. To get our sun, we're going to get a circle. Now you could make this a moon too. It's completely up to you. But after I have that tool selected, I'm going to click and draw down to draw that shape. Now I don't want a purple moon or a purple sun. So I'm going to put that somewhere like that. And I'm going to come over to my fill and I'm going to turn that into my sun color. I am going to go not with a white too bright, but I'm going to go with like a cream. So I'm in that orange color that I've been using. And I'll just go something like that for my moon color, moon sun. Okay, so that's it for that. That one was pretty easy. Now we're going to do some clouds. So we're going to build some clouds out of some other shapes. So we're going to come over here to our shapes. And I like to build my clouds out of this rounded rectangle, but you could also do, shapes with your circle and build. So I'll try to do one of each here. So here's my rounded rectangle. Have it selected. I can come right over here and draw with that. Again, if you want it not to hold the proportions of a perfect object like a square, you can hold the shift button. Okay, and I'm going to make kind of a long rectangle. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to draw another, oops, I don't want to select anything, so I'm clicking the gray. Grab another rectangle over there in my shapes and draw another one. I'm going to layer those to kind of create this funky cloud shape. Again, hold the shift button so that you can. Okay, now in that shape, if I were to zoom in a little bit and hold my spacebar so I can move, okay, you can go back and adjust that shape as you see fit. Okay, so right there, there's a combination of shapes that I'm going to put together as a cloud. So I can now group these and as a cloud, as a one unit. Okay, so they stay together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the shift button. I'm going to click on one and I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to click and click. And so now all three of those shapes are selected, but they're still individual shapes at this point. So I could right click and tell them to group. And what it did was it merged them all together. Okay. If you need to undo down in the bottom section, there is the undo and redo arrows. So I'm going to undo that for a second. And I have all my shapes. The other way to do this is to select all of your shapes by holding the shift button. And you get this great little palette up here at the top. These would be called pathways in other programs. So we have this unite and add. We have a subtract. We have an intersect, exclude, and a divide. So for this cloud, we want it to be added and united, so it's one unit. So I can hit that too. That's another way to handle that. And now it is one path all the way around the outside, creating one unit. So there's one style of cloud. I'm going to move that one here for just a second out of my way. I could do the same thing with circles. So I have a circle. I'm going to draw a circle. If I hold the shift, I can make it an oval. I'm going to click on the circle again and draw another circle. And you know what? If I like that particular circle that I just created, you can also hit Control D is a shortcut. And that's a pretty universal shortcut. And now I've duplicated that shape. I don't want to duplicate again. And, oh, I'm pushing the wrong letter. Control D, and I can duplicate it, and I can create cloud shapes that way as well. Again, when I'm done, I'm going to select them all with the Shift button and go up to my pathways, Pathfinder, Path Palette. I'm not sure exactly. We're going to hit Unite, and that's going to be one unit. So now I have one unit. Now I have to decide. I'm going to close my tool there for a second, and I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to decide. I like odd numbers of things when I'm arranging compositions. And I don't, this is a nice cloud, but I think I like my rounded clouds a little better. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to duplicate that cloud. Now it looks too symmetrical and too much exactly the same. So I can flip it and that gives it a little bit of a difference. I can also resize it and resize this one and duplicate and flip until I'm happier with my composition. So they look a little different. The other thing I can do is I could duplicate and stack several clouds. And now unite those to create some kind of different effect with my clouds. So I hope that was helpful and you have a sun and now you have some clouds. Now the next part is we're going to create one of those birds, those like curved birds far off in the distance flying. So to do this, I'm going to go back over here to my shapes tool. And we're going to need two shapes. We're going to need two circles essentially. And I'm going to click and draw. Now I'm going to do this over in the gray area and then move it onto my project. I just find that it's a little easier to work over here. So I have one shape. The back shape here, I'm going to make black. Okay, this is going to be the actual wings of the bird. I'm going to take another circle, and this time I want it to be a little bit bigger, and I'm going to make it white, and I'm going to position it over top of that black circle. So you can see that the black circle has this arching shape. That's the part we're going to keep. So I kind of like that right there. Once I have that shape that I want, I'm using this first shape to kind of mask out what I don't want of that black circle. And so after I have them overlapped and I have the good part of that black piece, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a box around them to select them or hold the Shift button and click to select each individual part. And then I'm going to right click. No, I'm not. Sorry. There. Once they're both selected, I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to click on subtract. Okay, so what that does is it just eliminates the overlap. Anything that's overlapping goes away. And I'm left with just that little piece that was sticking out. I'm going to duplicate that piece, Control D to duplicate. I'm going to put that together. I'm going to draw a box around those and I'm going to unite them. So now they're one unit. Then I can resize my bird and drag my bird onto my artwork. I can have a grouping of birds and I can make them look way far off in the distance. And I can, okay, now here is something. I want to be able to like rotate this, right? Just a little bit. I don't want them all to be exactly the same. So over here in the palette on the right, it shows me the dimensions of the object that is selected. So you can see how that changes when I select different objects and different things. So if I have this little bird and I want to rotate it, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to adjust the rotation here in this dimensional part of the palette. Okay, and so now I have these three birds. They might look like bats too, depending on what you think. But now I have my sun or moon. I have my clouds, and since this is a sun for me, these are going to be birds. Okay. At that point, that's all we need to do for today was to create those items. So we're going to come over to our export button. And we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. We're going to export this as a PNG and hit download. That's going to go into our downloads folder. And then we're also going to export this as a vector, download, again, going into our downloads folder. You may need to, if you're leaving them in your downloads folder, rename them each day so that you know which file is which, but you'll have those files. Okay? And then the last thing that I need to do is take a screenshot. So I'll take a quick screenshot for submission of my progress. And that's it. So I will save my screenshot so I have it. And I'm going to save this as 9.04 screenshot. And that's it for today. If you have any concerns or questions, please reach out and let me know.